The cafeteria of Galactic Academy Station 7 buzzed with the usual chaos of intergalactic youth. Nancy Chen stood in the doorway, her human eyes scanning the vast hall filled with beings from across known space. Chitinous Vexstar clicked their mandibles over protein cubes. Gaseous luminari floated near the ceiling, their bodies glowing with bioluminescent conversation. Four-armed Krathians gestured wildly as they debated in their guttural tongue. And there, in the center of it all, sat the Dractor. Nancy had been warned about them during orientation. The reptilian species had dominated this sector for 3 centuries, and their youth carried that arrogance like armor. Their scales gleamed under the station's artificial light's deep crimson shot through, with veins of gold, a coloration that marked the warrior caste. She took a breath and stepped forward, tray in hand. Well, a voice hissed from her left. What do we have here? 3 Dractor blocked her path. The leader stood nearly 7 feet tall, his crest fully extended in a display of dominance. His companions flanked him, smaller but no less menacing. I'm just trying to get to a table, Nancy said evenly, keeping her voice calm. Just trying to get to a table, the leader mocked, his forked tongue flicking out. Do you know who I am, Pinkskin? I am Vexgar, son of War Master Vexter. My family has conquered 17 systems. That's impressive, Nancy replied. Now if you'll excuse me, Vexgar's tail whipped out, striking her tray. Food splattered across the floor. The cafeteria fell silent. Hundreds of eyes turned toward them. You don't walk away from a Dractor, Vexgar snarled. His words cut off as Nancy simply bent down and began picking up the scattered items. No anger, no fear. Just methodical cleanup. This seemed to infuriate him more than any comeback could have. Are you ignoring me? His voice rose to a roar. He grabbed her shoulder, claws extending. In one fluid motion, Nancy stood, twisted, and redirected his grip. Vexgar stumbled forward, off balance. Before he could recover, she had stepped aside. Don't touch me again, she said quietly. The Dractor's eyes blazed. He lunged, claws extended, ready to teach this arrogant human a lesson. His people were warriors. They had conquered species across the galaxy. This soft, weak creature would Nancy moved. To most observers, it happened too fast to follow. Vexgar found himself face down on the floor. His arm twisted behind his back at an angle that made his companions hiss in sympathy. Nancy's knee pressed between his shoulder blades. I said don't touch me, she repeated, her voice still calm. What in the void is going on here? The crowd parted for Parker Williams, Nancy's fellow human, and the Academy's student liaison. His tall frame cut through the gathering aliens as he assessed the situation. She attacked Vexgar. One of the Dractors shouted, unprovoked. That's not what I saw, came a crystalline voice. A luminari descended, their light pulsing. The Dractor struck first. Murmurs of agreement rippled through the crowd. Parker's eyes met Nancy's. A slight smile tugged at his lips. Nancy, you might want to let him up before security arrives. She released Vexgar, who scrambled to his feet, scales flushed darker with humiliation. This isn't over. Human, he spat. Actually, it is, Parker said, stepping between them. Because if it's not, I'll have to file a formal report with the Academy Board, and I'll have about 50 witnesses who saw you assault a new student on her first day. Vexgar's crest flattened slightly. His eyes darted around the crowd, seeing the truth in Parker's words written on every face. Come on, Parker said to Nancy, picking up her tray. I know a better spot to eat. The observation deck overlooked the swirling nebula that housed the Academy. Parker handed Nancy a protein bar from the vending unit. So, he said casually, Marine Corps or Army? Nancy unwrapped the bar, a ghost of a smile on her face. Marines, 8 years, 2 tours on Kepler-4 for to be during the insurrection. Ah, Parker nodded. That explains the arm lock. I'm Navy myself. Did for years on the UNSC Pathfinder. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching stars wheel past the viewport. The Dractor don't know much about Earth, do they? Nancy asked. Not really. To them, we're just the new species. Barely a century into space travel. No conquered worlds, soft, weak. Parker's expression hardened. They have no idea what humans have survived just to make it off our own planet. Wars, plagues, environmental collapse. We clawed our way to the stars. They think conflict is about size and strength, Nancy mused. Right, they've never had to develop real martial arts. Never needed to find ways for smaller, weaker beings to defeat larger, stronger ones. Parker grinned. That's a very human problem. And we got very good at solving it. The door hissed open. A Vexstar scuttled in, followed by two Luminari and a Krathian. We saw what happened. The Vexstar clicked. That was impressive. Vexstar has been terrorizing students for 2 cycles. No one stood up to him. I just didn't want my lunch wasted, Nancy said simply. The Luminari pulsed with what might have been laughter. Perhaps you could show us these techniques. Nancy glanced at Parker, who shrugged. Academy has a training facility, and humans have always been pretty good at teaching. I suppose I could run a self-defense class, Nancy said thoughtfully. Basic principles of leverage, balance, momentum. The Dractor won't like it. The Krathian rumbled. The Dractor, Parker said, standing, are going to learn an important lesson about humanity. We might not be the strongest species. We might not be the fastest or the largest, but we're survivors, adapters, fighters. Nancy rose as well, looking out at the galaxy spread before them. Somewhere out there, Earth spun through space, a small blue world that had birthed a species too stubborn to quit, too creative to be conquered, and too determined to ever back down. When's the first class? The Vexstar asked eagerly. Nancy smiled. Tomorrow. And trust me, by the time I'm done, Vexstar and his crew won't be the only ones who know what humans are really made of. As words spread through the academy that night, a new understanding began to take root among the alien students. Humans weren't just the newest addition to galactic civilization. They were warriors who had earned their place among the stars, and they had lessons to teach. End.